Welcome to Eurovision Kiki. We're three Americans who have fallen in love with Eurovision. I'm Doug.
I'm Steven.
I'm Katie, and here on Eurovision Kiki, we're bringing you the best information about the Eurovision Song Contest.
We'll bring you the music, history, traditions,
and all the tea currently surrounding the world of Eurovision.
And you are joining us for another Eurovision Kiki, where today we are recapping Iceland's Söngvakeppnin and their 6 acts to see who they decided to send to Eurovision. Thank you for being here, Stephen and Katie. Are you excited?
Not really.
Let's just keep it real.
I'm gonna be
Obviously,
honest.
justice for BIRGO.
Yep. I'm never gonna lie to you guys, but yeah, no. Mm-mm.
The consensus.
That's how we feel already.
Yeah.
But thank you, everybody watching and listening, for being here. We will get into that. But before we talk about Iceland, I do want to just mention what is going on, Italy. What are you guys doing? Like, I'm going to win, but I didn't actually want to go and represent Italy, even though the contest that I was entering would directly reflect me going to Eurovision. What's that about?
Let's talk about Ollie and his decision to not represent Italy after winning their song contest and coming up with some of the most asinine and bizarre excuses ever. Like, if you know that you are going to have conflicting tour dates ahead of time, why would you waste your time and energy and compete in a song contest?
And time, because like staging and stuff, like, and money. Time and money.
I have to assume the narcissism is real and you just wanted as much attention as you could, and then you won and you're like, I'm just kidding, guys. I'm not going.
She's a shallow diva, whatever.
The bizarre thing though is that like his song was fairly good. I actually was like getting on board with it. I'm like, I can vibe with this and I will be okay with this. And now it's been pulled away and we get more. Yeah.
It was, I need more time. And then I've got a big announcement. And the big announcement was, my tickets are on sale for my tour. And you're just like, oh my gosh, what is happening?
I hate it.
So now with that, we've got, is it Lucio Corsi? Is that how you pronounce his name? Or
Loindici.
Loindici, yeah.
You're guessing his name as well. And
Lucio
obviously
Corsi.
we will be talking about that song for the next several months. It's a choice.
I, full disclosure, haven't listened to it yet. It's been...
You'll have to hear it several times.
I know.
So, the early comments on the social media is all the fans are like, I'm Italian, go look up the lyrics, it's fantastic. And I'm like, if I have to look up the lyrics, you're not selling me.
Well, I mean, like, lyrics can be good. Lyrics can be good, and a song can still be bad.
Period.
And as we've seen so many times, vice versa, also true. A song can be an absolute bop, and you're like, the lyrics are nonsense. But, like, you know, I mean, if that's what you're writing it on, like, oh, but the lyrics are so good, write a poem, girl.
I'm just thinking, like, the whole point of Eurovision is to, like, unite it by music, universal feel, sound, vibe. And if your disclaimer is go translate the lyrics and then you'll like it, then it's not doing its job.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I get it. I will say this. It's definitely not a song that you would expect. It's going to come from a very different vibe that you will pick up from Italy. It's not something that I think we would expect from them, but I'm not looking forward to it.
Ask me again in 2 months and I might love it. So
I do just feel like, I mean, so far with the way that the field is shaping up, the vibe is in shambles. Like, everyone's bringing something so weirdly different and almost no one is sending their best song. Is there anyone that's even sending their best song?
I mean, let's...
Like,
I have yet to be like, this is my song. Like, any country that I have just picked a winner, I'm always picking the second place.
Right. No one is
That's
sending.
the best I can do with second place.
They're not sending their best, if I may say so.
It started with Montenegro.
Yeah, why are we letting her go first? Honestly, but I mean, now Montenegro's looking pretty good.
Hey,
Turns out.
you know what? It's been since November, and like I'm vibing to Nina Gigi's song.
Yeah, I mean, turns out she's a qualifier. So
It turns out it's a bop. So at the rate we're going,
she's a finalist, most likely.
Yeah, she's saying jokes on you guys.
Yeah. Nina, if
All
this
right.
hits your algorithm, come Kiki with us.
Yeah.
We've got questions.
And we'd love to hear your thoughts on like the rest of the field, who you're up against so far,
Yeah.
because I have a long list that you can beat. So
Yeah, there we go. Speaking of vibes, Söngvakeppnin.
I love that
vibe.
transition.
Oh my god.
Beautiful. So today was the final for Söngvakeppnin. So we had 2 semifinals that each saw 3 acts advance. One of them was not BIRGO, pour one out.
Yeah.
That being said, 6 acts competed, and one of them was going to win, and one of them has to go to Eurovision.
And it was a vibe.
So and it was fine. Spoilers. Yeah. It's fine.
Yeah. With their song Row.
And we're done. Thanks
with
for joining us.
With their Aaron Carter on Lizzie McGuire outfits.
There was another like performer that went.
Lizzie McGuire was everywhere.
Well. Yeah,
today,
I think.
Oh yeah.
I think the theme was Lizzie McGuire
/ Xenon girl of the 21st century. Category is Disney Channel original movie.
Okay. So spoiler alert, Vibe won. They are now representing Iceland for Eurovision 2025, which in the grand scheme of things, we all kind of assumed it was going to be either them or BIRGO. Did not see BIRGO not advancing. And so then we saw a mixture of artists competing against them that, didn't know what their odds were going to be. But in that mix, I think we saw a couple that did somehow maybe have a chance. So let's get into it.
Yeah.
Let's just get into it.
It's the point totals ended up being a lot closer than I thought, and I'm sitting here going, "What is happening?" I said, "All right, so let's just go and just talk about each of these acts and their performance, their staging, all that stuff." So we'll just start with who went first, and it was August, and he sang in English, and the song was Like You.
And that was my Lizzie McGuire. This is what dreams are made of. Come to life. 100%. In 2025. And I was just like...
And you know what? Don't hate that for me. Don't hate it. I didn't hate it, honestly.
I was waiting for Paolo to come from the stage and be like, sing to me, Paolo.
It was better in English than the Icelandic version.
I agree.
I think of all the songs, well, there's a couple of songs that were better in the English version, and this was one of them for me.
Yeah,
for sure.
I agree.
Yeah, to me, the performance itself, I just couldn't get Lizzie McGuire out of my head. That it stopped for me at that point where I'm like,
that blue shiny suit,
the blue shiny suit, the backup dancers, the actual kind of like white backdrops that were kind of moving back and forth. Like, I almost want us to have like a cut screen here of just like screenshots of like Lizzie McGuire's performance.
That's when it's like right here, you'll find
here and right here you'll see what I'm talking about, and then you be the judge. You decide, listeners, and let me know. So that's where we knew that he probably wasn't going to win.
Just happy to be nominated.
Just happy to be nominated. Thank you for participating, and please exit stage left.
It is one of the ones that it's just like, I mean, it's fine. Yeah. But every song, I mean, it's so hard not to be just like livid for BIRGO because it's like every time I was like, this isn't as good as Stormchaser.
Well, and
every song.
This one hits harder because he was part of
Stormchaser.
He beat Stormchaser.
Direct competitor.
Yeah, he was part of that semifinal one. How?
And that is
always be. I will always be flabbergasted by that.
We do know that BIRGO has nothing but love for all of these artists as well.
Right.
And she's also, she has made it known that this is not the end for her and that we will see
And
her
she's
again,
a very good sport about it. And
Yeah.
she is willing to lead into the not qualifying. And
she gets to be a good sport about it, and I love that for her. I will never be a good sport about it because I don't have to lose gracefully, and I don't know any of these people, and I haven't become close with them over the course of planning this whole thing, so I get to be a bitch about it.
There you go.
So, that's just where it is.
So, next up in the contest. Next up in the contest was Bjarni Arason. Bjarni sang Adens Linger, which I believe translates to like stay longer.
Something like that, yeah.
Or a little longer, something along those lines.
Can I just say
it was a choice.
Here's my thing. I got a soft spot for an older showman. It was giving Wayne Newton, and I just, the bedazzled, untied bow tie. I love you, Grandpa.
I whooped at him when we did our full review a couple of episodes ago, and I stand by it. Like Grandpa can get it.
Mm-hmm.
Something tells me that our husbands are going to age very gracefully, like this one right here.
Mm-hmm.
And I hope that my man takes notes to dress like that.
So I will say, he's only 4 years older than your man. So
well, that's what I'm saying. Take notes, Roger.
It's a ticking time bomb there.
I mean,
here's
the English commentary kept referring to him as a seasoned professional.
That's what I
say he's old.
And I had to look it up.
What is the shadiest way to say that you are old? And I'm like,
yeah. And so I was just like, I have to find out actually how old this man is. He's 54.
That's not old.
It's like, I mean, I think part of it was he's been 54. He does, but he's also been performing for so long. I think his first song came out when he was 15. So his career is way seasoned.
And he definitely gave us that in his performance. Yes. They said his first appearance at trying to get to Eurovision was in 1988. So he's a seasoned professional. He gave us a seasoned professional's performance.
That's exactly what I was going to say. The English commentator made it. He was out for him. I don't know why, because he made it a note to acknowledge that his first time competing was in the 80s. He said he was a very seasoned, experienced singer. And I'm like, why are you coming after Daddy? Leave him alone.
I mean, and none of that was wrong, but it's just all right, we get it.
Mind your bit. That's private. Mind your business.
Yeah. I mean,
the song, to me, it's feeling a little lounge singer-esque with the white piano and the old-timey microphone. And I'm going to try to be hip and cool with my undone bow tie, but I'm not hip and cool anymore, but I'm trying too hard. Good.
I mean it. I mean this as a compliment. It really was giving Vegas and old
residency in Vegas.
Yes, old. Yes. That's why I say Wayne Newton. It is just the guy who's been there, the lifer that is who he is, and he's a showman, and I loved it.
Yeah,
kind of for that element. Is it going to be is it my favorite song? No, but I love it for what it is.
To me, I think the biggest surprise is that he did not come in last today. That was my shocker.
Oop. Boop. I don't know. I thought fourth was fine for him. Yeah,
fourth was you. All right, you did your thing. Mm-hmm. You weren't the best. You aren't the worst. You're here. Thanks. So next in the run order was Julian Disa and Fire, which they did sing in English, but as we saw, it was English with an Icelandic rap section. And I really enjoyed this performance.
Same.
Was probably my favorite out of all 6 that we saw in the national final today. And
Yeah.
the one that I thought that was the one that I was going to give like the okay stamp of approval, especially after we saw BIRGO's story post on Instagram as well. And
rooting for them.
Yep.
If she tells us that we can go ahead and like this song, we can like this song.
We can.
BIRGO's stamp of approval means that this one's okay and we can allow it. So that's why I was like, yeah, I'm jamming out to this one as well. So let's rally behind it. And their performance was really impressive.
I thought their staging was really cool. The part where she was rapping, looking in like the mirror, but it was a video screen and it kept like switching in between her image and his image. I thought that part was really cool. Yeah, I really enjoyed how they put that together.
I just loved a lot of the special effects that were going on stage, especially even towards the end where they sort of like faded her in and out. I don't know how they did. I mean, it's 2025. I'm sure that technology is way more advanced than I understand. So they have a way of doing it. And I'm just like, how did they do that? I loved it.
They definitely did something different with their staging that we are not seeing a lot of, and just trying to be different. And that's, I like that element of it. I really think that they showcased Icelandic in that rap section. And so we're seeing a lot of non-English winners going to Eurovision this year. And so I thought this was sort of like the best of both worlds. And that's why I think it would have done well at Eurovision.
Yeah, it kind of, in that reminded me a little bit of Teresa and Maria from Ukraine last year, because like, I mean, obviously the whole song had Ukrainian and English in it, but having the whole like rap breakdown be fully Ukrainian, I love that mixture, especially if it feels true to some of these artists. Like they speak both of these languages, so why wouldn't they, have both of them in there? And so I really liked that too.
So
this was the biggest surprise for me in the outcome. Like they were beaten out by not one but two. They got third place. Like that to me was very surprising. I thought they were only come in second.
They were only 5 points back from second. So like, I mean, that was a like razor thin margin.
I mean, even if the jury points weren't as wonky as they were, I think best outcome for them would have been second place. But the jury didn't help them much because points were just being thrown all over the place there.
Yeah, I mean, they came second in the jury. So, I mean, it's not like it was like that seemed appropriate. But
yeah, I just think
they threw so many points other places.
Yeah, the jury points this year, or in the national finals that I've been watching, it seems as though a lot of the juries are in the same vein with their top three. So, the 8, 10, 12 points. This was all over the place. Like, fifth place got 10 sometimes, and sixth place got 12 at one point. And you're just like, I don't know what you guys are doing. You guys are clearly not on the same page.
A little all over the place.
Also, Turkey, why are you there?
Also that. Didn't make sense.
Crazy.
So then in fourth in the run order was VAEB and Roa. They did their thing.
They sure did.
They're going to Eurovision.
Okay, Kids Bop.
Given what we have seen going to Eurovision thus far, this has the energy to sort of, quote unquote, keep up with the high energy songs.
It does.
That people are talking about the most. Right? Like, everyone is talking about Finland. They're talking about Malta. So now are they going to start talking about Iceland because there's this upbeat song?
Probably.
It's got the potential. We're all in our feels right now. We feel a certain way about this particular one because, again, they came from the same batch, but also it's just, there's something about.
We talked about this several weeks ago. They were our number 2 behind BIRGO. So if BIRGO's not there, are they now our number 1, Stephen?
Fire was always in that top 3 for me, but as time has gone by, Fire kind of slid up there into number 2 slot for me. Now, if I'm not mistaken, based off of what the English commentator had informed us of, they also competed last year and were runner-up.
That's what it sounded like, yeah.
So, kudos to them for coming back.
All right, let's see BIRGO do it next year.
Yeah, so
I was going to say, if they're coming back and winning, then
maybe this is good.
Go BIRGO.
This is good sort of mantra for BIRGO and for others. I also know that, we'll get there when we get to our last performer, so we'll talk about that there as well.
So next was Tina. I think that's how they were saying it.
Yeah,
they weren't saying Tina.
So I heard Tina.
And Words, which she did sing in English.
The outfit.
I don't think she's ever been somewhere Western, and I feel like that's what she was trying to go for.
What do you mean?
Country? I don't know if she's ever really. It came across like kind of trying to do country, but not really. I don't know.
Like Beyonce country.
You said it. I didn't.
Don't you dare.
I didn't say it.
No, I mean it. I don't think it could decide what it wanted to do. Her performance of it was weak for me.
I got the sense that she's more comfortable in Icelandic, and it almost felt like she was, because in English the words are a little bit more spread apart and a little bit slower. And so I got this sense that she was trying to back down and sing it the English way and was having some trouble there. Now, I'm no song guru, but that's just the feel that I got, is that she would have been more comfortable with it in Icelandic.
She should have just stuck it. She should have just stayed Icelandic then.
She should have.
Nobody forced her to do both.
I think it was a better performance in Icelandic in the semifinal.
Yeah.
But the jury seemed to like it. Public did not.
Yeah.
I mean, she came in 5th in the jury and came in 6th overall. So, I mean, it's not like it was this huge, she was the first place, second place choice for the jury, and then she came in second to last. She was one step ahead.
Right. The jury, let's just say the jury points were a lot more close together.
Yes.
And then it was the public that decided how it was going to separate out.
Yeah, the jury points ranged from 44 to 74. That's not that's not a huge gap. So I did find that to be super interesting, because it's just no one knew what they wanted out of this.
She did get a 12-pointer in one of those.
I think at one point, she was.
Do you remember from who?
It was towards the end, so I want to say it wasn't Croatia. Was it maybe Sweden?
I don't recall.
No, it wasn't Sweden. I don't know. I do want to say it was towards the end, though. So
interesting.
Yeah.
So that brings us to the last in the run order, which was Stebijok and Set Me Free, which he sang to you 800 times, and if you had a shot every time he said "set me free," you would be dead.
Yep.
In less than 3 minutes, too.
And he sang it from
in
inside
less
a
than
cage.
30 seconds.
Yeah.
That's my only criticism, is that it is overly repetitive of saying "set me free."
Yeah, I think we've talked about the sing-along factor, the earworm factor can be really good, but there is a point where it's too much.
I did not see him being the runner-up.
Me either.
At all.
Not by a long shot.
What I also found interesting through the English commentator was learning that he was the runner-up 5 years ago. Let's go back to 5 years ago. That was 2020. Who won Eurovision, or who won Söngvakeppnin back in 2020? Dowdy Fryer. So I didn't realize that he had that much polarity in Iceland.
Polarity?
Fan base. He doesn't have
popularity?
Popularity.
You can say polarity.
Polarity is like how
Okay, well,
like
we're
something
gonna...
polarizing is something that like divides people.
Oh, well, there's your reel.
ONDG all over again.
But in
This time in
this
English.
Well, there you have it. I didn't realize he had that much popularity in Iceland because I was never about the song. So
This song, I will say, it's rock, and we have yet to get a rock song to Eurovision. So maybe part of the conversation was we have 19 songs already. Let's get something different into the show.
And it's been a while since we've seen a rock song do really, really well, and a high concentration of them. I don't know, like it just like, especially this style of rock. Like, I mean, we've seen bands perform well, but it just doesn't seem like people are wanting it as much anymore. So it's like, you miss some of that as like variety, but it's like, I mean, Germany came in last place when they tried it a couple years ago.
I do like Blood and Glitter.
I have to be in the right mood for Blood and Glitter.
Me too.
I'm always in the mood for Blood and Glitter. That's a real.
I'm always in the mood for that one leg jumpsuit that he was in.
Also that.
But I am all for a rock song. This was not the one.
For me, yeah.
And the look on his face when I think just the look on his face when it was announced that he was not the winner.
Mm.
That's always worth a go back and look at that clip because he was.
Wish I could.
Oh.
It's on Instagram. You can.
It'll be there.
It's on the RUV page. I'll send it to you.
All right, yeah. Eurovision Song Contest YouTube channel needs to get Söngvakeppnin back up.
Yeah, please do that.
Maybe they're editing it.
Songs, right? Like we know the winner, we know the placements. It was a good show. I enjoyed it. I had a good time. I want to shout out the fact that there was an English commentary for it.
Mm-hmm.
It just, obviously, as an English speaker, it makes it more engaging for me.
Mm-hmm.
I appreciated that.
I want to shout out that you got a shout out, Doug.
Yeah. Crazy.
That was so funny.
Posted to our stories.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
It was just cool. I mean, the commentator was giving shout outs across the world. I mean, we got to hear about people watching in Los Angeles and Philadelphia and Texas and all this stuff. And so it's just like this, none of us have the ability to vote, but you best believe we're going to watch and we're enjoying it. And I hope that whoever produced the English commentary version sees that desire for outside people to be watching.
Yeah.
For real.
Yeah.
So we also
got to see some old faves.
Exactly.
Yeah, we had some interval acts. So we got to see Karya, and he performed Cha Cha Cha, of course,
obviously.
But also San Francisco Boy, which, as one would expect, they were snow bunnies.
Because
San Francisco is famously a ski town.
I don't. Karya, I love you, but have you?
Is he doing it ironically?
Yeah. Have you ever been to San Francisco, my friend?
I mean, there is one type of ski slope that is prevalent in San Francisco, if you catch my drift. Correct?
Yep.
So maybe it's something to do with that. I don't know.
You might actually be onto something with that. I would not be surprised. But also, is it just lost in translation?
I don't know.
I'm not starting any rumors about my boy there doing stuff like that.
But I mean, it could be a stereotype that he's.
And just maybe it could also be done ironically. We all know that there's clearly no snow in San Francisco, but this is the vibe I'm going to bring to you. Who knows, right?
Maybe.
But I appreciated him being there. He's making the rounds to all of these national finals, which great. Get your coin. Do your thing. I told Steven, if Emily DeForest can be at literally every single national final for the last decade, Karya can be at like.
Yeah, he's booked and busy, and we love that for him.
Yep. And he threw some love to BIRGO. Saw that cute story picture on the IG of theirs. And so love that for her. Love that for both of them. But yes, he's making his rounds, and he's letting it be known who he's out there supporting. He was in Estonia the prior weekend, throwing all of the love and support to Tommy Cash. So,
you know,
let's go back. Let's go back then a couple weeks ago. Where were you at semifinal 1 when we needed you?
Yeah, seriously.
Anyway.
Justice for BIRGO. We'll say it all the time.
Yeah.
But I mean, the Tommy Cash support does make sense because if it's Crazy, it's Party, you know? Like, they've been on songs together, so.
Yep.
And then we also, the highlight for me of Söngvakeppnin was the one, the only, our queen, Hera Bjork, who gave us
friend of the
not
pod.
one, not two, but 3 songs.
What a queen.
It was great.
Yes.
I love it.
Jumpsuit on point.
She is the queen of jumpsuits.
Yes.
Like, I mean, from last year Eurovision, she wore that gold situation. I mean, we love a jumpsuit.
She went from gold to silver, and
gorgeous.
She was out there and she was having a good time. Like, you could just tell that she was happy to be there and just living it up.
I think, especially from, the conversation we had with her, like, I feel like she was just like, thank God I'm not competing, but I love being on stage.
Yes.
Because she was like, I don't have to do any of the work. I'm just like here to sing and do my thing that I love to do. But
and hand off.
I'm done after this.
Yep, handing off a trophy.
Beautiful.
Hera, hope you're listening. Hey, mama, love you. Great performance. You did phenomenal. Loved everything about it. So keep it up.
I love the fact that she gave us, obviously, her 2 Eurovision songs, Je ne sais quoi, and also Scared of Heights, but in Icelandic. And she gave us Someday, which, if you're obsessed with her like we are, you know the song already. So it was just great to see all of, like, her range.
What
I would love, I'm manifesting a friendship between BIRGO and Hera Bjork because I think Hera can teach a ton of things, and BIRGO already has that attitude, like, last place is just a place, I didn't qualify this year. Great. Okay. Moving on. So, I just want them to be, I want a duet out of them, actually.
Oh, that would be so awesome. I also really loved I'm going to just say, I loved all of the LGBTQ plus representation that Hera provided in her interval act for Söngvakeppnin today. It's so needed right now as an American viewer, but also just like as a worldwide viewer. So please know that was noticed and that was so needed and loved. So thank you for that too, Hera.
I almost wonder if there's a little bit of a reason that countries are choosing to do not English. Not that we're the only English speaking nation in the world, but I would want to separate myself from accessibility to Americans.
Not to get overly political, but I do think the rest of the world knows what's happening and they have an eye on what's happening. And
I don't blame them.
And it's not great.
Yeah.
It's pretty bad, actually.
If you're wondering how we're
why
doing,
we lean into Eurovision.
If you're wondering how you're doing, if y'all are wondering how we're doing, not well,
bitch.
And this is our coping mechanism, and it's Eurovision.
Yeah, just escape into European music that we don't understand clearly.
The lore. Had to throw it in. Not a week goes by that we can't throw that in there.
It's Loin Dici, and we don't know European music.
And now polarity.
Right.
I learn something new every week. So clearly, overall, we know that we feel some sort of way about Söngvakeppnin.
Mm-hmm.
We'll cheer it on,
Mm-hmm.
like we do, and it's going on.
Once we get the full lineup,
Yeah.
then I will decide where I stand on it. At this
Mhm.
very moment, I'm
Still
on
raw.
the fence.
Still raw.
But it's going to represent Eurovision. Good
Yeah.
luck to them. I will say that to any artist, right? You won. You're going to Eurovision. You are one of 37 acts that are going to be there. It doesn't just happen
Congratulations.
overnight.
And
right?
congratulations. Good luck. Have fun.
Congratulations, VAEB. I'll see you in Basel, and maybe we'll Kiki. So with that, should we close it? Why not?
Yeah.
Thank you to our listeners as always. So be sure to give us a like and a follow. New episodes drop every Tuesday on our YouTube and Spotify channel. As always, we are curious to know what you think. So leave comments down below if you're watching this on YouTube, even if you're listening on Spotify, because we have comments there. You can also give us a follow on our Instagram and TikTok accounts. Those are easily available by just searching at Eurovision Kiki at either one of those. And please, by all means, if you have questions, send us an email at eurovisionkiki@gmail.com. That should do it for now. What Katie said, the Loin Dici, Polarity, see
We
you
don't know
soon.
European music.
We don't know European music, but what we do know is that we will see you all at our next Kiki. Bye.